Om Shanti. There are many different titles of God, and today he's taking up Jani Jananhar. Jani Jananhar means the one who knows already what is there. So he knows the whole drama and the important characters in it. But he says that do not use this title of mine to avoid being honest with God. Because if you do, then you're functioning in the way people with religious blind faith function, and it will not enable you to become clean or come clean. So there are many titles of God. We are coming up to Shivratri, and the different titles of God are being talked about by different PKs. And it is believed in Bhakti there are many avatars. Well, the last avatar is called Kalki Avatar. Have you heard about this Kalki Avatar? It is they say that God came as a white figure riding on a black horse with a big sword, I think also with fire in the sword, and dashing through. And Kalki Avatar also means the incarnation where he is defamed. And defamation is a very interesting procedure, because if you say something false about someone, people will believe it very easily. You don't have to prove it, you just have to declare it. So this is one of the tests that you have to deal with. And of course, Shiv Baba is defamed a great deal in the path of bhakti, so he takes this up. But what is important is that eventually he will clarify who he is, so that even if you may be defamed, eventually it will be known who you are and what you are. So that's good to know, right? But you have to pass through defamation for a while. So this is 10th of February, and the essence, sweet children, although the father is called Jani Jananhar, and you can translate this in a number of ways. And Jani Jananhar really means that he's the one, he's omniscient. So he knows everything of importance. But it doesn't mean that he knows everything about everyone, because he says that's not of interest. But people believe that. So he says, even though he is called Jani Jananhar, you must definitely speak about what's on your conscience. It says here, give your news, but it doesn't mean just, oh, I did this and I did that in terms of good thing, but what's on your conscience. And so when you tell him what is on your conscience, then he can advise you what to do. And the question is, since the unlimited world must be made into heaven, accordingly, what is the work, the task of those children who understand well? So the answer is each of you must be clear about yourselves with the Father. If you tell the Father accurately what is on your conscience, he will guide you about the particular evil spirit that you have in you and how and why it is causing disservice. But the main problem people have is jealousy. And they want something that somebody else has. And in order to prevent them from getting it, they will say many bad things about that person. So Baba says, now reform your activity and renounce your desires of body consciousness. That means your desires that you don't have a right to. The unlimited world has to be made into heaven, and therefore the eyes of the Father, the eyes that the Father has for you all, is that you must give knowledge to everyone. So he sees you as the distributors of the treasures. And Baba is especially concerned about the poor, because in traditional societies, the people at the top get the information and the access to everything, but the people at the bottom don't. And so the way Baba gets the knowledge distributed is he starts with the people at the bottom and eventually it gets to the people at the top, which is the other way around from what goes on in the world. And the song is, my heart gives thanks to the one who has supported me. Om Shanti. Those who are good, effort-making children who have faith in the intellect understand that the praise is of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, to whom people pray. So this word praise means this. It's been coming in the last few Murlis. And it's quite difficult to figure it out in English, how it's put, but what it means is that the description and definition of God is applied to people who are not God, causing people to be confused about who and what is God. And this is what is meant when this word praise is used. So you understand that the description of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, you know what it is and you know what it isn't. So people describe those who lived in the past and they describe what their accomplishments were. And so they know the praise of some, but there are others who did things they don't know about them. So you children know the description of all the people of importance. All the deities, you know, Krishna, you know, Ram, you know, Vishnu, you know, Brahma, you know, all these people. So Shiv Baba is called Jani Janan Har, but you children do not adequately understand the meaning of this word Jani Janan Har, because it means omniscient. And so then they say, well, if he's omniscient, then he knows what's going on in me, so therefore I don't have to come clean and I can just pretend to be something else. So they take it like that. So Baba says many children think that the Father knows what is inside our hearts, on our conscience, so what should we write to him about? But Baba says this is not right. The Father is the one. And do you think he's going to sit and read the thoughts of all this many children? He has better things to do. The Father comes here as the teacher and teaches you. And he understands the way in which each of you are studying. Some study well, some don't, some study deeply, some superficially. And he knows whether you have faith in the intellect or not. But he is not sitting there in the supreme region thinking about such things. And if you children think that that's what is the meaning of omniscient, then this is your mistake. And some write to Baba saying, Baba, what shall we tell you, because you know everything about us anyway? Baba says, no, you must give news of what you're doing and how you're studying to the one who is teaching you through Brahma. You have to consult with him through the post office, Brahma Baba, the post office. Do not assume that he knows everything, so you don't have to tell him what your difficulties are, and that we cannot remain hidden from Baba. No, this is called blind faith. This is how people operate in conventional Hinduism. So tell to Baba what's going on with you through Brahma. Say again?
Is it only like
Mostly.
not in Christian?
Not so much. No, because in Christianity, the idea of omnipresence is not so strong. It's a new idea. And in Christianity, although they use this expression, you know, God is watching, this is new. All this is for brand new. It's, you know, when I was a child, they never thought like that. And that was, you know, 60, 70 years ago. They thought that what God knows is that which a human being wants to know but doesn't know, like what is the soul, what is time, this sort of thing, they thought. And they thought that only God knows himself. You cannot know God easily. But they didn't think that you can, you don't have to say anything because God knows already. They really didn't think like that. If they want to hide something, they'll hide it from some human. But they don't really think. Maybe now they do, because Christianity's changed in the last few decades quite a bit. So Baba says there are many types of children, and each of you must say what's going on with you. And this is why Baba asks every center to send the annual report of everyone together with their occupation. So the annual report means who are the students and what are their occupations. It means who do we have here? So if Baba already knew this, then why would he ask? So whatever that one, Shiv Baba, has to know, this one, Brahma Baba, also has to know. So the practical realities of having a gigantic family and a big school, you have to know what's going on. So Shiv Baba comes through this Brahma, doesn't he? When you want to telephone someone in those days, you made what was called as a trunk call, a long distance call. And so there would be the telephone operator who would have all these wires to plug into the system. And so the operator would know what is being spoken about between the people. So a trunk call is made through someone. And if the operator wants, she can listen in. So it was usually women who did this kind of work, very badly paid, long hours. But she is not allowed to listen to people's conversations. Now we have a different system. The government listens to all your conversations. So the operator can listen if she wants to. the operator checks the sound, and she can receive, she can listen very clearly. So here too, each of you has to give your news. So you give your news to Sheep Baba, and Brahma Baba knows exactly what you're telling him. But Baba says no one in between knows anything. So BK teachers are appointed to give your news. That means you can't just tell Baba in meditation this is happening and that's happening, but you have to actually talk about what the issue is. Some big issues happen, right? So in Christianity, they have a system of confession, and the priest is not supposed to tell what you told, but occasionally somebody will commit a murder and they will confess that, and that puts the priest in the spot because that has to be told. So they have to deal with that. So it is the duty of special children who are strong in knowledge to give the full news. So each one of you has to give news of your factory. So the center is a kind of factory where you are producing people who study the knowledge and understand it and are being transformed into deities. So this is a factory for making deities. So the sensible children write their news, and then Baba will give them guidance. Otherwise, their activity cannot be reformed. There are some who do not develop virtues fully because they have a lot of body consciousness. That means arrogance. And some have many desires because of their arrogance. Sensible children would immediately say what's going on. And there are reasons why there is disservice. So Baba would caution you and say, well, what you're doing is an evil spirit, and so you better stop doing that, otherwise your status will be destroyed. So this is mostly the activities to do with jealousy, because if somebody is moving ahead and you don't like that, you want to move ahead yourself, then you will do them down in one way or the other. So Baba is the one who makes the unlimited world into heaven, and he looks at each one equally. Everyone has a right. Everyone has a chance. And his vision is that everyone should be uplifted, and Baba pays special attention to the poor. Donations are always made to the poor, and it is the poor who have become the instruments. A kingdom is being established, and there are many subjects. When India was ruled by the British, then in places like Baroda and Gwalior, they had a king, a queen, an advisor, and subjects. So some had 2 million subjects, others had 3 million. They were number wise. So at that time, it was called the empire. So India had tons and tons of kings and queens of many, many small areas. And so they kept their titles and their position and everything. And then after the partition, India was very poor. So the government, after some time, dispossessed all these kings of their titles and their lands and money and everything. And so it's not there anymore, but they still remember who they are. So all the kings were called to the court, and the courts were held number-wise. So they had this gigantic room where elephants could come in, and kings came in on their elephants, and they would sit down according to rank. And you can see this very easily in Mysore. It's all set up like that still. And so the emperors were like in the front, and the kings, small kings, princes, etc., etc. And the women were kept on one side behind a curtain. So that was like that. So there are many with different number-wise titles like Rai Sahib and Rai Bahadur. And it is like that here in BK's. The Father is the highest on high, and everyone must have regard for him. Only the Father comes and makes Bharat into heaven, cycle after cycle. Then the people of Bharat begin to insult the Father. So this idea of omnipresence and these descriptions of the avatars, the incarnation of God as a crocodile and a fish and pig and things like that. So everyone definitely has to fall from the Sato Pradhan stage through to the Sato, Rajo and Tamo stages. So God is the highest on high, and then there are those who stay in connection with him, the residents of the subtle region, that is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. So you have to know about the tree. The Father is said to be knowledgeful of this tree, the Kalpa tree. No one else has knowledge. The Father is the highest on high. Then down from him is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. And after that comes Brahma, Prajapita Brahma, and the mother of the people, Mateshwari, Jagadamba. So the mother and father are well known. So this is Adam and Eve, Brahma, Saraswati. The world mother, Saraswati, is the daughter of Brahma. And she should have just one name, but some call her Amba, the mother. Some call her Kali, the destroyer. Others call her Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. She has been given many names. This one is Brahma, Prajapita Brahma, the father of the people. And there is also BK Saraswati. So she was given this name, Saraswati. And in Bhakti, they show Saraswati holding a sitar. So she is the main one, the goddess of knowledge. Just as this one, Brahma, has been given the flute of knowledge. So in the form of Krishna, he has a flute. So she has been given a sitar. So these musical instruments mean that they're speaking. So the first main one is Saraswati, the world mother, the goddess of knowledge. So what knowledge does she have? She has the knowledge of Raj Yoga. And who gave it to her? The ocean of knowledge. So this Brahma and the children learned it from the Father, the ocean of knowledge. And then from being the goddess of knowledge, as Gyan Gyaneshwari, she becomes Raj Rajeshwari, the empress. And the same applies to you. So Brahma and Saraswati are called the god and goddess of knowledge. And they attained the knowledge of easy Raj Yoga from God and attained their kingdom. The same applies to you. Lakshmi and Narayan would not be alone. A kingdom is being established. So many Brahmins are now studying, and then they will come the worship-worthy kings and queens. When there are 2 degrees less, they become Sato from Sato Pradhan, and then they go through the stages of Rajo and Tamo, and from being worship-worthy, they become worshippers. You were worship-worthy, and you have become worshippers. But you can't say this for God. So this is one form of defamation of God. They say God is the worship worthy and the worshipper. So Baba says that doesn't apply to God. There's wrong praise. It applies to the deities who fell and became devotees. How could God be a worshipper? It doesn't fit with the criteria for how to be God, because God is immutable. So you can't change if you're immutable. It's not possible. We became worshippers by going through the stages of Sato, Rajo, and Tamo. So Baba has explained that there are, in fact, just 4 religious scriptures, Dharma Shastra, the main religious writings. And the main one is the mother and father, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And all the rest, the other scriptures, so from Islam, the Quran, and from Buddhism is the Dhampad. Have you read the Dhampad? It's a really nice book. Yeah. It doesn't say anything about God, but it's very few people have read the Buddhist book, the Dhampad, but it's interesting. So all of these scriptures are derived from the Gita. So the Gita is the highest on high, and then from that is created the scripture of Islam, Quran, and then there are the main scriptures of the establishment of religion. So the Bible, the Torah, and so on. The Torah is a Jewish scripture. First is the deity religion, and its scripture is the Gita, so the deity Dharma. And the deity Dharma is established in the confluence age. So the Murlis is the Gita. And then there's no religious scripture in the golden or silver age. So the sermonizer, the one who speaks this, is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He is the ocean of knowledge. And so he has to be placed in the highest position. And all others are lower down in the genealogical tree. So the main part of the genealogical tree, the trunk, applies to the deities. And then there are the branches, the genealogical trees of those of Islam and the Buddhists. But above all of them is the one Father. So when they hold a religious conference, first of all, everything is by rank. So the highest rank is God. So that has to be placed in the right place. But that religion has disappeared. So the religion means the setup of the religion in the confluence age, then the deity civilization has disappeared. And it is now being established once again. So it is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who establishes it. And he is incorporeal. So he is establishing it through Brahma. It is remembered that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, created Brahmins through Brahma. So very important. Brahma did not create Brahmins. Shiv Baba created Brahmins through Brahma because Brahma is impure and Brahmins are pure. So Shiv Baba has to make Brahma and then through Brahma make Brahmins. It would not be said that Krishna created Brahmins through Brahma. So they say Krishna was the speaker of the Gita, but Krishna was the result of the Gita. So he would not meet Brahma. Krishna is the next birth of Brahma after he became Brahma. So the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, created Brahmins through Brahma, and then those Brahmins later became part of the Sun Dynasty and the Moon Dynasty. That means that at this time, the Sun and the Moon dynasties are in process of being established. And you are the genealogical tree of the deity Dharma, deity civilization. You know that after you, the next genealogical tree is Islam, so the Abrahamic religions. Have you see the Kalpa tree? That's the first one that comes on there. It's right-hand side, your left-hand side looking at it. Then on the other side, the Buddhists. So the tree is developed in this way, and all this must be imbibed in your intellects. People write scriptures about those who lived in the past. So scriptures are written a long time after the founder of the religion. The drama is being shot of whatever happens now. So it's all being recorded. And it will then repeat after a cycle. The actions of all the people in the world are being recorded, and these acts of yours will then be reenacted after 5,000 years. These are matters to be very clearly understood, very deep. Do you understand your destiny? Once you have a destiny, nobody can stop it. Because if you have that destiny, then you had it the last time. The highest on high is Shiv Baba, and then there are the World Mother and Brahma, the father of the people, Prajapita Brahma and his children, the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris. There are three brothers, Brahma, Abraham, Buddha. The eldest brother, which is the deity Dharma, isn't there. It's not going on right now. So that brother has disappeared. Definitely when that Dharma is no longer there, it has to be established once again so that all the other dharmas can finish. So the deity dharma and the other religions are mutually exclusive time-wise. So when the other religions appear, the other civilizations, the deity disappears. And when the deity dharma is reestablished, then all the others must disappear. So when the deity dharma is there, then the other brothers are not there, they come later. Only the one Father is the creator, and there is just one creation. So he doesn't do it again differently. It gets done exactly the same way every time, so it's just one. The Father says, I have come once again to teach you Raj Yoga. You know that this Mahabharat war is here for destruction. You children know the drama very well. All these are matters for the study. There is no gold here that thieves could come and loot. This is a school. And a school has books and maps. So this too is a school, and it has a map. This Kalpa tree is a map. So there is no need to be afraid. What would thieves do coming here? You don't have anything anyway. However, it is remembered that some people's wealth was buried underground, some was taken by the government, some was burnt in fire, but the wealth that was that survived is what was used for God. And so that presumes all his places. So the Father is explaining to you, it doesn't matter how wealthy or how much of a millionaire or billionaire someone may be, all that wealth will turn to dust. But yours is a true income. You are the greatest multimillionaires, and you will take this income with you. So your income is the knowledge, which becomes your sanskaras, and the pure karma that you do on the basis of the knowledge. You know that you are transferring everything to heaven. So everything that's invested in Baba's yagya is transferred, and you pick it up on the other side with plenty of interest. Much, much, millions and millions of times multiplied. You say to Baba, Baba, give this to us in heaven. Give us diamonds in return for shells, plus interest. These matters have to be understood, and you also have to follow Shrimat. You have to look after your households, but also follow Shrimat. People spend a lot of money and they take loans to go on pilgrimages. All this is the expenses of the path of devotion, and all this is eternal. Every cycle it comes again, you have to do it again. There have to be things that make you full also. Everyone must go into the Tamopradhan stage, because only then can I come and explain to you how much you have defamed me and how degraded you have become. So until and unless it goes really down, he can't come. You will continue with the same activity that you did cycle after cycle. There is Gyan and Bhakti. And when there is complete degradation, then the Father has to come and give salvation to everyone, or take everyone to the Golden Age or to the world of light. While you have been chanting and so on, your degrees continue to decrease. And when you have become totally impure, then after that dark night comes the day. This whole drama should be clear in your intellects. People who do not take this knowledge come and they see everything here and they say it's wonderful. And as soon as they go out, they forget everything. So many exhibitions have been held, and yet no one has emerged with faith in the intellect. And although they may come here to understand, but still not one has faith in the intellect. Maya doesn't allow them to have full faith. So they think they're going to have to give up everything. So they don't. Then there are gopikas who are in bondage, sitting at home, writing to Baba saying, Baba, I belong to you. I now know you. I belong to you alone. I may die, but I will never marry. And because of being in bondage, I cannot come. So the unmarried women in bondage means their parents won't let them come. But when this woman has a little taste of this, see how she becomes free and comes away from the bondage. And there are others you have been trying so hard to explain to them for 10 or 20 years, they still don't understand. Here, Baba gives you the donation of life for 21 births. And he enables you to conquer death. In the Golden Age, there is no such thing as untimely death. So you should follow Baba's Shrimat. Make donations, give the knowledge. Make the lives of others like diamonds. And although all of you have your own fortune, you must definitely study each Murli. Wherever you are, you can get Murlis. And one day the Murlis will be printed in many languages. So that's there now, so many languages. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning. Let's have traffic control.
ज्योति जगा लो होगा दूर अंधेरा शिव का कर लो ध्यान आ रहा पावन पुण्य सवेरा
So, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada, and the spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. And the essence for dharana, to make progress, be clear with Baba of your study and your activity with the Father, make your life and the life of others like diamonds. Secondly, while looking after your household, follow Srimat fully, become sensible, and transfer everything you have to heaven. And the blessing is, may you become free from all attractions and constantly experience safety under the Father's canopy of protection. So in the world, people use an umbrella to protect themselves from the sun and the rain. And that is physical protection, but this is the Father's canopy of protection, which keeps souls safe at all times. With this, nothing can draw you to itself. You say Baba from the heart, and you are safe. No matter what type of situation comes, those under the canopy of protection experience safety at all times. Maya cannot influence them, even slightly. And the slogan is, become a master of yourself so that you're not dependent on anyone for anything. Can you do that? So we will offer Bhog, but while we're waiting for the Bhog to come, does anybody have any question or any comment? Did you understand about this praise? So it comes a lot, but it's not very clear otherwise. So, Harshabai, is there anything? Very good.
So, would you like to say more about the Dhampad?
The Dhampad. The Dhampad is basically the scripture for Buddhists, and it's very beautiful, very poetic. And in Buddhism, they talk a lot about karma. But they don't say anything about souls and God. Because in Buddhism, there is this idea of the continuity of everything, spirit, matter, all one thing. But they give very good importance to karma. And so the acts of nonviolence especially are there very much. So all these things are described in the Dhampad. And then they also have the Book of the Dead. So when you leave your body, what happens to you, depending on what you did in your life. So there's also karma, but after death, what happens to you? So that is fairly fearsome. And in most of the religions, there is also this idea. And so just as Baba speaks about Dharmaraj, that you will be held accountable for your activities, and especially in Gyan, because we know everything, so very much held accountable. But it's very deep. So let us offer to Baba.
दुनिया से क्या लेना, वो नगरी हमारी है, हमको है वहाँ रहना। हम ज्ञान से सज धज के उस नगरी में जाएंगे। हम उड़ के चले जाएं, ओ हम उड़ के चले जाएं उस प्यारे से वतन में, उस मीठे से वतन में। वतन में है ठहरे हुए बाबा हमारे लिए, हो वतन में है ठहरे हुए बाबा हमारे लिए। कर रहे हैं इंतजार घर ले जाने के लिए। आकारी बन कर के हम वतन में जाएंगे। हम उड़ के चले जाएं, ओ हम उड़ के चले जाएं उस प्यारे से वतन में, उस प्यारे से वतन में, उस मीठे से वतन में, हो अव्यक्त वतन में, हो हम उड़ के चले जाएं उस प्यारे से वतन में, हो उस मीठे से वतन में।
पंचेंद्रिय का छोड़ दे बंधन, तन मन से तू हो जा समर्पण। पंचेंद्रिय का छोड़ दे बंधन, तन मन से तू हो जा समर्पण। दिव्य ज्योतिर्मय देह धारण कर बाबा के पास जा,
Shanti. You look like something's on your mind.
There's always something.
So share with us.
I don't know that I have anything that is coherent enough.
Even incoherent becomes coherent.
I find these days that my mind is very scattered. My concentration power is not what it used to be. My ability to maintain a stream of consciousness gets broken up very quickly, easily. So I go from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum in terms of experiences, past experiences, and yeah, I feel when I step back and see it from a distance, I say, well, yeah, there's the burden of negativity, and then there's the influence of God, and the mind is experiencing both.
And as we become more powerful, you become able to see it and handle it. Baba had defined Raj Yoga at one point as the power to recognize God and the power to recognize Maya. And so usually people, they recognize God, but they don't recognize Maya. Or they don't get that the power of God and the power of negativity is equal. So how you position yourself tips the balance one way or the other. And that is a matter of a decision. So you have to recognize what the signs are and then act. And sometimes there are signs that say you have to do something, and other people say, what? Keep the status quo. People like the status quo, but we're in times of change. And one aspect of the status quo that Baba teaches us about is that you have a part in the drama and you play a certain role, and then all of a sudden that's finished. It could be that you leave your body and that's the end of your part. For many, it's like that. But sometimes the circumstances change, and that's the end of your part. And so when it's the end of your part, you feel it, right? In advance. And there is a story about Bhishma in the Mahabharata, that he was killed, but he couldn't die because it wasn't the right time. And so he had to wait until the astrological configuration was suitable for his death. So he lay on a bed of arrows, and then he taught politics to the Pandavas who had to rule the kingdom. So in the beginning, he teaches war, and then when the war is finished, he teaches politics. And politics is how to manage the kingdom, and war is how to get the kingdom. And so this is the time of war. You get the kingdom, so you overcome all the negativity and obstacles, and you come into your power and all this. And then when that's done, then you have to rule the kingdom, right? Because life goes on. It doesn't end. But one part finishes, another part comes. It's like that, right? Yeah. And when you become aware of that, the level of consciousness that you're operating is not to your liking, it's because you've moved forward, and then you move to a higher level because your standards change, having recognized something. And so this is a path on which you go along, able to see to some extent, and then you see, and then you can't go along on that level. You have to go to a higher level. And Raj Yoga is like that. It's about going level to level to level. You can slip down and go back to your old ways if you want. That's okay, but then it's slow because you take a much longer time to get to the destination. I think I saw something appearing on the screen. Is it something I should see?
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you to everyone.
One more.
Okay. Parallel to the soul in its current body, the fetus of the next life is being formed and perhaps has a pull on the soul. So does the soul begin to receive some signals that it's time, the current body is coming to an end? Yes, definitely. And I think it's also what I was talking about before. Sometimes you leave your body because your next body is ready and it's saying, come on, we got some work to do. And sometimes your function somewhere or doing something is finished and then you have to go. And so then you go. And it's like that. So come and have Bog. And I think the camera should have a look at what we have here. Full description with extremely fragrant pineapple and kiwi. This is cracked wheat.
Sweet cracked wheat with nuts.
Cracked wheat with nuts and raisins and some coconut, goji berries, cranberries. Okay, so enjoy. So everyone, please enjoy.
Everybody gives drishti too.
Yes. Full of extra power. Cha. So anyone want to share anything? Harshabai, you are the ocean of thoughts. Not today. Today's a quiet day.
today evening is the talk on Gita by Usha Didi in Hindi with English translation provided on a different Zoom link. Om Shanti.
That looks like Mike George. But Gita is with Usha Didi from Madhuban. Yes.
The evening Zoom link is 983-8939-9983. And passcode is Baba Murli. Thank you. Om Shanti.
One thing at a time. What is the other thing? Yeah, so you tell those informations. Yeah, definitely. No, people need to know in
We
advance,
have
no?
the West Coast Murli coming up on 3rd Sunday, February 20th with Vedanti Didi. And we also have Shivratri flag hoisting at San Francisco Center in person. But please RSVP. So following the West Coast Murli, we will have Shivratri flag hoisting. So you are welcome to come in person on 20th, 3rd Sunday. 3rd Sunday evening, February 20th, evening 5:30. We have World Peace Meditation Hour hosted by Fresno class online. Speakers are Sister Ariel and Brother Michael from Sedona. February 26, the last Saturday, the last Saturday of February, 4 p.m. we have Shivratri class and meditation catered to the rituals, significance of rituals, and the devotional aspects of Shivratri. Speaker is Vinod Bhai and meditation by Veena Ben from Fresno class. 5:30 p.m. Saturday, February 26, same day, is Mahashivratri celebration by Hindi class. That will be in Hindi, perhaps English translation provided. February 27, Sunday, the next day, 5:30 p.m. is Mahashivratri celebration by us, San Francisco Center, by all of us. Anubhuti, San Francisco, LA, and we will just open it to everyone, West Coast. Speaker is Denise Ben, and blessings by Sister Chandru. Om Shanti.
Okay, let's have a few moments with Baba. Shanti.